And we're back. Still fighting this Poliwhirl. It just won't die.
Yep. I just realized I have a Hoot fighting the the evolved state.
Hey, but that means Owl is about to evolve, because it looks like they evolve at 20.
20.
Unless he somehow got a Noctowl that is lower level than Noctowl is supposed to be able to be.
Does that happen?
Sometimes. It's kind of rare, but it happens.
Tell you what's even more rare is when I actually hit Hypnosis. That's that's really rare, actually. So
you know what's the rarest though?
What?
Me fighting 2 trainers in a row without going to the Poké Center.
Yeah, that is. It's pretty funny how that works sometimes.
Yeah.
Gotta go back and make sure you're good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But also, guys, thank you again for joining us. Please make sure you push that button down below. And make sure you hit that bell for the notifications. Twitter. You know, we say it all the time, but if it's your first time, Second Player Show, number 2ND. Constantly posting stuff, throwing support out. There's so many people to thank that you guys, do for us. So thank you so much. Streaming. We also stream on Thursdays.
Thursdays, 7 Central.
Yep, 7 Central.
And on Twitch, that's Twitch/The Second Players. If you're lazy, like I am, all of that's down in the description.
That's how you do it. Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah, when we were doing that on the last time, and I was like, getting ready to put it on Twitter, and I was like, what is it? And you were like, just copied it there. Yeah. There you go. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
I'm surprised we managed to get The Second Players in YouTube and, well, not Twitter, but
yeah,
I actually found it on Twitter. It's being used by a squatter, and they want to sell it for like $700. I'm like,
wow.
I mean, Twitter squatting is a thing.
That is crazy. Just sitting there like, nope.
Yep.
Guess it's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I bought the domain.
Yeah.
Second Player, or thesecondplayers.com. Don't go there. I don't have a website up because I'm lazy.
Don't go there. Don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, eventually, one day, I have planned to get a website up. But on the other hand, that's work that I don't want to do. I hate making websites. I really hate making websites. So,
I mean, besides that, we're busy making content for all of you. So, I mean,
yeah, I do the editing. I don't have time to make a website. What?
Yeah. Would you rather sit on a website or watch us, make content, play games, right?
Well, I mean, the idea is you could watch us on the website. So, but
I mean, if it comes to that,
one day, I guess, but.
We'll make it together.
Yeah, I promise, like, if you really care about being able to go to a website to see us instead of go to YouTube, it'll be there one day. I mean...
We got the plot of land, we just gotta build it.
I'm just astounded that a handful of people actually want to see us in the first place, let alone,
Hey, there's second players out there.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, I think about how we got the name for it all,
Yeah.
Just like, whenever we go play games with our friend's house, we're always second player.
Yeah.
I mean...
What's love? Can't learn more than a few more moves.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you definitely want confusion.
No! Oh!
Yeah, okay, so I learned that, remember, with my Bellsprout?
Yeah.
Do not push A at all there, just let the words go. Because it goes straight into it.
And it doesn't confirm.
Yeah, there's no confirm.
That's what made him good.
Dang, that sucks. That sucks bad, bro. One victory. That's a Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah, see, I was gonna replace Tackle because... But...
That's a Pyrrhic victory.
Damn it, son of a bitch. Go ahead, Pidgey, kill him. Kill him, please!
All that work. Oh, it sucks.
I just love Gen 2. Actually, I do like Gen 2. I think, I've said it before, this is really the generation that, Pokemon really solidified into what it was going to be. I mean, it still needs work. Like, that's a great example. But,
yeah.
I mean, that's my bad, too. I wasn't paying attention, so...
Well, I did the same thing earlier, so just remember that. When you're about to learn a move, just tap A and just let it go.
Yeah.
Until it stops, and then tap A, like... We're so used to the new stuff where it's just like, get out of here, come on.
Well, they have a bunch of fail-safes for when you're mashing the button now.
Oh, yeah.
I wish they'd do a thing to where after you get done, like, healing your Pokemon in a Poké Center, you, like, turn 180 so you won't get stuck in that loop.
Yeah. That would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Tank controls just have the down or the up work. That was the best thing they added to Resident Evil, I'm telling you. Where you could do a quick turn.
Yeah,
Jeez.
double tap.
Or you would hold, I think it was X, and you would hold the opposite direction you were facing. Or one of those buttons, and they would just go.
Right.
Because having to turn around all the time with tank controls, oh, that sucks. Oh, man. Can you imagine if that's how we walked in real life? Oh,
yeah.
There it is. Nice. Somehow I've kept this owl in the lineup. Why not? Done me some good. Have I had all the evolutions in the show so far?
So, yeah, I haven't had anything evolve yet.
Yeah.
I had Egg Hatch. Freaking Togepi.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I haven't had any Evos. I haven't let Spike evolve, because I
know, the guy's like, come on.
There's a move that I want him to know that he learns like 20 levels sooner, and so...
Yeah. I feel you. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to put... No. Muscle right there. Use my muscle. I didn't name him. Some guy named him and gave him to me.
Oh, another Pidgey.
How's that supposed to make me feel? But it makes sense. But what's bad is it's a girl named Muscle. Named her Muscle.
I mean, Muscle isn't a gender name. It's not like it's named Robert or something.
No, it's not. But, I mean, at this point in time, now they say fit is the new skinny, right? Yeah. Now, at this point, when this game was made, I don't think there's a whole lot of women walking around wanting some muscle.
Super muscular.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some girls working at a gym at one point that very beautiful women that worked out and were in good shape. I'm not talking about, like, super jacked, but even credit to those women because I've seen the work that people have to put up to get to that. Jeez. No, says I. I love food too much. Like, I like to be in shape. I like to feel good, but I love food too much.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's kind of obvious with me.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh my god.
Actually, that reminds me. My lunch today was a Lunchable. I didn't really have much time for anything else. So,
that's why they made them like that.
Yeah, so now that you're talking about food, my stomach's like...
What'd you say?
Yeah, did you say food? I forgot what that was. It's time for food.
I like how Noctowl's eyebrows, you see him from the back.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, I feel you on that. Oh, I was about to use Pidgey. Okay.
Yeah, he uses 5 Pidgeys.
5
or
Pidgeys.
She, or... can't remember.
5 Pidgeys, huh? The excitement of 5 Pidgeys.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'm kind of looking forward to, and you mentioned it, was Universal Studios has finally started work on Nintendo Land.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty excited about. I think they started in Japan about a year ago. And they're just now starting here. But that's something. I've wanted a reason to go back to Universal Studios. I went with my family when I was a kid. Long before the Harry Potter Adventure Island was even
Yeah.
built. So, I'm excited about the possibility of going, seeing what they've added, and then Nintendo Land. Like, I really am excited about that. I know some of the stuff is going to be kind of kiddie.
Yeah.
From some of the, leaked things, but I mean, still.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, to a point, it's expected, but I mean, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's almost like walking through the TV screen.
Yeah. And, it's not just like Mario Land, it's Nintendo Land.
Yeah, it said like Super Nintendo Land.
Yeah. So there's a Donkey Kong area, Mario area.
Yeah.
I would assume there's a Pokemon area. I mean,
It has to be.
Legend of Zelda stuff. Like
Metroid.
Ooh, a Metroid ride would be really cool. Especially if they did one of those 3D kind of AR rides.
Oh, yeah.
So, years ago when I went, I don't know if they still have it, but they had a Spider-Man ride where it was kind of like you wore 3D glasses and you rode on a thing. It's like at one point Spider-Man landed on your cart and it shook. And, I don't know if that's still a thing.
I went to a thing like that not long, or it was about 3 or 4 years ago in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
Going around, I went to something like that, so it's still around.
Yeah, but I mean that particular
that Spider-Man
ride,
thing, yeah.
That was really cool. If they did like a Metroid thing like that,
that'd be cool.
With the new with technology now.
Oh. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Oh. I got tired of switching, so I just let Rocky just eat them all up.
But I'm really looking forward to that. It'll give me an excuse to go, and we need to go when it happens. Like, it'll be a few years before they're done, I think. So
there's one land that I always wanted to go to. Yeah, we'll definitely have to go to that, man. One land that I always wanted to go to, just for the sake of being a fan. Is I think it's at Disneyland or Disney World. They finally did the Star Wars thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen pictures. I'm like, it looks so cool, but I don't know if I would go to Disneyland unless I have kids. Then they would be like, let's go.
Right.
Then I'll go. But
I've never been.
Yeah, it's not like a priority for me.
Right.
I have a kind of a love-hate relationship with Disney to a point. So mainly because of Star Wars. Like, it's rough.
I haven't liked them for a while. I feel like as a media company, they're getting too big. Like,
they're monopolizing everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
If they were another kind of company, there would already be some... I think I got stuck in the healing loop again. There would already be some, like, antitrust suits against them.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, media is... I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean... I will say this. I think Disney has done well with Marvel.
Yeah.
I mean, they've, comic book accuracy aside on certain things that drives me nuts, but they've done well. They haven't changed and made it like worse. Like, they put out Logan and Deadpool, and like, I'm like,
well, they didn't do Deadpool.
Well, okay.
Sony did Deadpool.
I wonder how they got away with Logan. I mean, they didn't have you don't see Disney when it comes up, but you'd think they'd have a hand in it.
Yeah,
I mean, they own it.
It's a licensing thing.
I got you.
I think Sony still owned the license to make so many movies.
I got you.
Sony still owns the Deadpool license, which is a problem. But I heard, and this is just rumor as far as I'm aware, but I've heard rumor that they're in talks about getting the whole because the X-Men license is pretty much up with Sony.
Yeah.
And so they're in talks about getting that back and also pulling in the Deadpool license and at making it more part of the, universe.
Yeah, because I had read a while back that Disney had acquired and bought pretty much all of Fox.
Yeah.
Or they bought that part, but from what I read is they said you cannot to not expect X-Men to come into play until probably about 2020.
Right.
Because they've got all these movies lined up, and to stop and rewrite, refilm, and I don't know.
Yeah, X-Men is Fox, not Sony. Spider-Man is Sony.
Spider-Man Sony.
Oh,
That's why there's been so many dang reboots of Spider-Man. Because now Sony's finally like, Homecoming, we finally have him back.
Because Sony sucks. They suck at making movies.
Well,
I'll stand by that.
Hey, I ain't saying anything about the movies, but I do like their gaming. So
yeah, they have a good hit every once in a while with their movies, and then it's like they're like, oh, this was really good. Let's see what we can do to change it, and just like, a lot of their like popular movies feel like really hello fellow kids, and like
the first Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, the first Spider-Man is okay. I mean, it's not...
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. When it came out, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
You know, all these years later, I'm like, And then the second Spider-Man in that line is... and then Spider-Man 3.
I actually liked 1, 2, and then 3 let me down. 3 let me down. As a Spider-Man fan, I'll admit, the only reason I like Spider-Man, but the first time I saw Venom, I was like, that has to be the coolest thing ever. So when Eric from That 70s Show walks up and says, I'll never forget this, he's like, what's your name? Eddie Brock Jr., sir. And in my head, I was like, who the hell is Eddie Brock Jr.?
No.
They didn't say that.
Yeah.
Like, Junior, did they rib him and say your name is Junior because you're not big enough to be Eddie Brock? Because Eddie Brock was huge, so then when he became Venom, it was
huge.
Yeah, and I was like, great, so he's gonna be the size of Eddie Brock when he's Venom.
I mean, it works for the Hulk.
Yeah, but anyways, that was the big thing for me. I haven't watched the new Venom movie, but I will say I think Tom Hardy is a lot better of a choice.
Yeah.
Given the size he put on for Bane, whether or not you like the voice, so he got beefed up.
So when when I went to see that movie,
I was with you, or we watched it
together. We watched it together.
Midnight showing.
We were in a
it's a midnight showing, and it had subtitles.
Yeah, because we were in a hearing impaired.
Yeah. It had subtitles.
I didn't realize that he didn't always have subtitles. Like, I was talking with some of my friends, and they were like, we couldn't understand a fucking word he was saying. It was like, his subtitles. And they were like, what subtitles?
Yeah. And you know what's funny is when I watch movies, I have subtitles on. I probably would drive some people crazy.
Yeah.
But for me, I like to see what's said. I hate when you're watching a movie and go, what do you say?
Yeah.
What do you say? Let me rewind it. No. There's an art. You'll be like, okay, got it.
Yeah. Especially that one. The movie sounds like that.
Gotham, this is your city.
And actually, one thing that I read was originally, he sounded more muffled.
Yeah.
And test audiences didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he redubbed everything before the movie was released. How did he sound originally? Because I can't understand a fucking word he's saying normally. Like,
yeah.
I can't imagine like Bane more muffled in that movie.
They have done Bane and Injustice and that not meaning the DC fighting game. And Injustice clearly in like any film adaptation, because Bane is a mixture of take that horrible movie I think George Clooney was Batman in. When Bane comes in, he's just like a retard. Like, all right, and then you mix that one with what you get in Dark Knight Rises, and that's Bane.
Yeah,
because he's a genius. Like, he's the first villain to truly break Batman. And in the comics, it wasn't some, oh, your vertebrae's out, and then he hits it back in and he does a bunch of push-ups and sit-ups. No. He broke his back.
Here, let me fix your broken back by knocking it back into place.
Yeah.
Like,
Batman, I can understand what they said in that movie. They said his vertebrae was loose. So, I mean, maybe you're that good. You could knock it back in. Cool. And it'd be right. But Batman was, like, done in the comics. He was in a wheelchair. Like, he was done, man.
Yeah.
And he appointed Azrael to be Batman in his place, and Azrael actually killed.
Yeah.
So Batman had to learn how to fight, walk, or Bruce Wayne, and then go get his crown back.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Ooh, a rare candy.
Oh, and Shuckle didn't have to make it for you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. Batman and Wolverine, don't get me started.
I mean...
Don't get me started. It's funny because people are like, oh, you're really into comics? And I know a little bit about generally most things, but there's some things in the Marvel Universe, and I'm more of a Marvel guy. But there's things in comics that I know nothing about, so you won't catch me talking about it. I'm just, I
think, like... Oh. I generally enjoy comic book movies when I watch them.
Yeah.
Like, while I'm watching a comic book movie, I like it.
Yeah, they're entertaining.
After the fact, not so much. Like, as time has gone on, I've started... Like, after I watch a comic book movie, I like it less and less the more... With the exception of the Deadpool movies. And even Deadpool 2 is a little, like, I like it.
Yeah.
There's some things I don't like about it, but...
Yeah. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
The last big one, and people are going to be like, what? The last big one I watched was, in theaters, was the Avengers. Like, the one that most people think of when they think of superhero movies. Mm-hmm. That's a long time ago. I've watched The Winter Soldier. I've watched all the other movies via rentals, Netflix, whatever.
Well, we went to see Deadpool 2 together.
Yes, that. Yeah. I'm talking about. To me, that's a different vein. It is a superhero movie, but it's a different vein than Thor, Iron Man, Captain America. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. Besides Logan, which I watched in theaters twice, I feel like they did that one a good justice, good service. Right. But yeah, the ones, this is a big one for me. And Marvel Civil War, I'm not going to get into the context of it, but Marvel Civil War, I asked somebody, because that's one of my favorite comics, graphic novels, and I asked somebody I worked with at the time, I said, was it a good movie? Yeah. I said, what happens at the end? And they told me, and I was like, not watching it. And they're like, why? I said, because in the comic this happens and this causes the Civil War. It's
almost completely different.
Yes. And I'm like, where are they coming from with this? And they were just like, you're that serious? And I'm like, I like originality. I'm sorry. You know, it's, for me, as a kid, the media for superheroes when we were young was not at the level it is now.
Right.
So if you wanted that fix, you had to get it from a comic book. So, like, comics were really big for me as a kid. Really big. Oh, there we go.
I mean, I think I like where they're going. I kind of like the Marvel universe thing and all that.
Yeah.
I think it's a neat way to do comic book movies.
Yeah.
And it's
successful.
It took them a long time to figure out how to do comic book movies well.
Yeah.
Now, do I particularly like every movie? No. I mean, the first Avengers, I had trouble watching. Just because it's... like, I like action. I like action movies.
That's funny.
But I like plot, too. And I felt like there's not much plot and too much action.
Let me say this real quick before you move on to that.
Yeah.
First Avengers, I actually liked. Okay. Second Avengers, I went to the theaters twice and fell asleep both times. Not a joke. Too slow for me.
I have seen the second Avengers.
You're with some chick or something?
Well, yeah. I was with my girlfriend. We were sitting and watching it on the couch, and we both got bored watching it.
And then the movie watched you.
Well, pretty much.
I'm just...
But, I mean, that was forever ago. And I remember bits of it, and I remember making fun of it because it was more of the same. It was just all action.
For me,
and neither of us really liked it. So.
I remember reading an article back then on that movie, and they said they added so many characters in that movie that each character literally only had, like, I want to say it was like 8 to 12 minutes on screen, like the whole movie. And I was like, that's too much. Like, for me, it was hard for me to attach to it, so I was just like,
And I still haven't seen Infinity War, and you know I
know that.
I was planning on getting caught up, but I don't care. I don't anymore. There's too many. And I know that sounds bad. Like I sound like an old fuck. Well, there's too many, and I just don't like it. But I kind of feel that way. Like
I think that, you know, like you said, they're doing them well. I think there's been some heroes that have, like we said, have massively benefited from the movies.
Right. I think they're doing well.
Yeah.
It's too much for me to keep up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have trouble keeping up with my day to day. Like,
yeah,
honestly, editing for these, recording for these, everything else I have going on. Like, it's.
By the way, you killed this puzzle or this because I got lost.
I accidentally did it.
Yeah, well, that's.
I wasn't meaning to beat it, but
that's impressive.
I just
like you're past me for sure.
So,
but it's okay. Ah, not the mark. Come on, man. Yeah, but you know, for me, just closing out the comic thing, it was always X-Men for me when it came to Marvel.
Right.
Always X-Men, and I just feel like X-Men has suffered really badly as of late. And looking back on all the X-Men movies, not all were great. Growing up, I loved them just because I'm like, oh my god, X-Men. But so I'm really excited to see how that comes out. For me, of course, Wolverine's my favorite. They said that Eastwood's son is a strong candidate for it.
Really?
And I was like, huh. So I looked him up. I could see it. As a young Wolverine, maybe he'll get in the workout room and with Hugh Jackman learn some things.
I still, and this is just me, like, in my, like, thinking about stuff. I would still love to see, like, Wolverine make an appearance in Deadpool.
It needs to happen.
Yeah.
And it needs to be Hugh Jackman if you do that.
It would need to be. I don't think that would happen.
Yeah. It's sad.
But to me, the best like cameo that could happen is if the new Wolverine shows up and like Deadpool's excited, but you can tell he's not super excited. And then like Hugh Jackman is just a random person on the street while they're doing something, and like he just drops what he's doing and runs over and starts like gushing at Hugh Jackman.
That would be funny.
I mean,
it'd be simple. I remember one of the things you told me that cracked me up was when you said one of Wolverine's legitimate fears is that he'll be the last person on Earth with Deadpool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, I could just picture Wolverine like trying to hide from him. Get away from me, bub.
The comics where it's Wolverine and Deadpool are priceless. Like,
yeah, it's so funny.
If you've never seen them, they're great.
They're awesome. There was one, I can't remember which one it was. I would go into one of the bookstores here in town, and they have tons of,
Back
novels.
when we had bookstores here.
Yeah. Oh, we still have one that's in the mall.
Yeah, if you can call it a bookstore.
Yeah. Well, I went in there and there was a bunch of graphic novels, and I'd look, and I wish I remember the title, but it was Wolverine and Deadpool, and they were fighting. And Wolverine is like trying to walk off, and Deadpool just won't shut up.
Yeah.
So Wolverine's claws come out, and he turns around and decapitates Deadpool.
Yeah, and then he just keeps talking.
And then he keeps talking, and then Wolverine's like, keeps walking, and then you see the body pick up the head, and it puts it on backwards, and then it starts falling, and Wolverine still. And I'm like, oh man, like it's just funny picturing Wolverine doing that. I could see it, like, oh, it's just funny because I would wager to say that. I don't know. Wolverine survived a lot of crazy stuff, but I would say their healing capabilities have to be right there next to each other. If Deadpool's might be more,
right?
I don't know, because Wolverine survived from basically a skeleton and regenerated. Like what? And I'm sure Deadpool has some crazy stories like that too.
Well, there's like the 3-part series where he pisses off the Hulk, like because he's convinced that. Like when the Hulk is like super mega angry, his punches can atomize things.
Oh.
And so, like, he steals a nuke and straps it to a bus full of orphans and drives it and has it driving somewhere else. It's, like, really, really bad. Finally, he gets the Hulk to fight him. And the Hulk just, like, punches the crap out of him. Like, there's nothing left. And then there's this, like, 4 or 5 page just, like, dialogue between Deadpool and Death and how much he loves Death and how he's finally dead, so it can just be him and Death making love for all eternity, and then he wakes up in a hospital bed, and it's one of the best, like...
Oh, man. So here's a question I have as we close out the EP, okay? Because every superhero, excuse me, has a downfall, right?
Yeah.
And I like to think of this. So if you could have Deadpool's abilities, like everything, but you had to look like Deadpool, like had to wear the mask and all that, would you do it?
I'd probably do it. Just mainly for the ability to see past the fourth wall, because I mean that's like in the comics he can do that, and that's funny. And in real life, like
someone would tell you something like, you need to do this, and you'd be like, I see past this, and I'm not gonna do that. Okay, not gonna happen. So, but anyways, guys, thank you for joining us. With that, we're going to go ahead and end it out. But make sure you check out our Twitter and, stay intact with us, and we'll be right back with you.